Madison Square Garden before the sun came up. Fans of all teams trying to get in to watch Michael Vick. 5 other of the top players like LaDainian Tomlinson, David Terrell, and all the teams represented, all 31 of them, for this, the 66th annual NFL selection meeting, which in English we should translate as the NFL Draft. Welcome to New York for a weekend of football. And are you ready for the draft? Are you ready for some football? I think we have a new attendance record. 52,000 have wedged their way into the theater here. Chris Berman, Mel Kiper, Joe Theismann, Chris Mortensen. In dog years, we've done this 162 times now. We have many, many events that have happened even the night before. Will it be a portent of what is to come? We shall see. Well, as we like to say, our good friend Warren Zevon once sang in Werewolves of London, I saw a werewolf drinking a colada at Trader Vic. I don't think he was talking about the 2001 NFL Draft, but we've had a trade involving Michael Vick, essentially. Yesterday afternoon, the San Diego Chargers and Atlanta Falcons swapped the #1 pick of the draft. In exchange, the Chargers move down and pick 5. They get a 3 this year, a 2 next year, and a kickoff return man extraordinaire, Tim Dwight. But the headline is, the Atlanta Falcons have an opportunity to select Michael Vick to play some quarterback, to play in the South. They know him full well from Virginia Tech. And Dan Reeves has done this once before. Chris Mortensen, how and when did this go down, and why did it go down?
Well, I think really this process started 2 weeks ago when Dan Reeves brought Michael Vick to Atlanta. Dan Reeves did not go to the Indianapolis Scouting Combine. He brought Michael Vick in for a visit, not a workout. Just needed to eyeball him and like what he saw, like what he heard. And then they just waited. And as San Diego went through this process, I think John Butler, the general manager of the Chargers, never truly comfortable with Michael Vick. Otherwise, this deal never gets done. Needed an offer he can live with. Got it. The Falcons struck. And then as far as the contract goes, Harold Richardson, the general manager of the Falcons, talked to Vick's agents, Andre Colonna, Mike Sullivan, and basically said, what are you looking for? They presented the same deal that they gave to San Diego. Vick's people did. And the Falcons says, we'll take it, even though it'll take 2 weeks to finalize. So basically, Taylor Smith, the owner, okays it. The money's done. 2 weeks, he'll probably sign the contract. And Dan Reeves, by the way, did call Chris Chandler yesterday, another part of the process, just to say, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it.
Well, I think a lot of people in Atlanta are certainly energized. It seemed that 3 years ago went to the Super Bowl, and they're wondering where they're going in this day and age. But, Mel, when you trade away the rights to a quarterback at the top of the draft, I'm not asking why you would do it, but what might be a hang-up on Michael Vick? Is he not a 12-year star in this league once he gets the hang of it?
Well, it's not a given, Chris. You look at Michael Vick, best athlete probably to ever play the quarterback position at any level. He's that gifted. He runs that 4.3, a 40-inch vertical jump. You see the arm strength and the loft on those passes down the field. You see he's upright. He needs to tweak those mechanics.
No, wait,
certainly. And Joe, I know what you're going to get into here, but I'm telling you, he needs a lot of work before he said, he's so good, Joe. Why did nobody outside of Atlanta try to trade up to get it? And why did San Diego pass on a franchise quarterback?
Because I think right now he's a little too young. They've got a quarterback who can play for him right now in San Diego. They're fine.
What, for how long? Hey, if they thought he was a franchise quarterback, Joe, they'd have taken him.
I don't believe that. I still believe that this is the right choice. They have a greater need now to build on that franchise. I think Michael Vick has the athletic ability that you can't teach. Throws the ball deep well. We saw it in the highlights. Moves around very well. Positions the ball well. Quick release. You look at the way the trend has gone in the National Football League. A lot of running quarterbacks. Dante Culpepper, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb.
That's all fine, Joe, but you got to be able to beat somebody with your arm in the pocket. He is light years away from being that type of quarterback.
Tell that to Jeff Fisher.
No, bigger
you have
picture.
to be able to contribute with the arm.
Bigger picture.
And legs.
Is it because Vick was not head and shoulders ahead of about 6 or 7 other guys in many teams' evaluation and years? What do you think?
That's exactly right, Chris. I think we look at this draft, it did not have that one super elite prospect. You talk about 7 players, maybe as many as 12 with the same grade. Michael Vick's at the top because he's a quarterback, no question about it. But any one of these players, I think, has a chance to become a great talent in the NFL. The perception, though, right now is that this draft does not have that one super elite prospect. And my contention is that San Diego thought he was next. John Elway, Drew Bledsoe, he would have been the #1 pick. And I think
to throw in here really quick. Look, Sugar Bowl game. Michael Vick, freshman, Florida State, in the Superdome. Everybody talked about there's like 30 NFL prospects on that Florida State roster. The best player on that field tonight was Michael Vick.
That's the college level, Mark.
And he definitely threw the ball better than Joe did at the Super Bowl, but that's at the Sugar Bowl. That's another.
Anybody throw the ball better than I do.
Listen, San Diego, there is a big question. Let's take it from San Diego's perspective for one moment. Did they get enough? They get a 3 and a 2 next year in Tim's way for a guy that they figure could sit and watch Doug Flutie play for 2 years and then be a perfect guy and re-energize that franchise that was de-energized, and that's the understatement of the century, by the Ryan Leaf, and we can only call it a fiasco to this moment. But San Diego's coming off a 1-15 season. If they get a running back and if they get other players, they feel that, you know what, we have better served our team because Flutie is going to be playing right now. And by the way, that's already energized the fans out there. I have one case in point, then I want to go out to Ed Werder. This exact deal happened in '95 between Cincinnati and Carolina. Carolina went down from 1 to 5. Cincinnati went up from 5 to 1, as San Diego and Atlanta have done. Cincinnati ended up picking Kajana Carter. Carolina ended up picking Kerry Collins at 5. But it cost only a 2 to make that move. So if you look at that as the worth, then a 2 and 3 and a returner in Dwight, then they did get a good deal. There are others that say they did not get enough. But if they get the running back here or at the top of the second, then I think San Diego is satisfied. But you know what? The beauty of this is we can debate this forever. And the beauty of this is that Ed Werder is out in San Diego right now, right in the middle of all this. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Chris. You're right. The Chargers do want to upgrade their running game, which was the worst in the NFL last year. They averaged their leading rusher, Terrell Fletcher, averaged 3.3 yards a carry. They got 67 yards rushing per game. And what they want to do with the 5th pick is take LaDainian Tomlinson, the #1 player on their board. But there's a lot of concern about what Cleveland will do with the #3 pick. They fear that either the Patriots or more likely the Bears will attempt to trade in front of them. And those teams also covet Tomlinson. If that happens and both the best offensive tackles are gone, I think John Butler wouldn't hesitate to take Gerard Warren, the top defensive player on the board.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much. It shall be interesting out there. Of course, San Diego trying to do a lot of building. Hey, make no mistake about it. This team is on its way. We'll talk about them when they get there. It's just on its way a little different than we thought 24 hours ago. Another big picture for you fans to watch out today. The St. Louis Rams, a year ago, 1 year removed, the Super Bowl champs, they couldn't stop anybody last year, even though their offense continues to be one of the most prolific in the history of the NFL. By making deals involving Trent Green, and earlier, the Rams now have 3 first-round picks as we speak, and 2 second-round picks. You think this offensive juggernaut isn't going to address defense and become an unbelievable force this year? Let's see what happens today and tomorrow. The Seattle Seahawks have 2 very high picks in the first round as well. No one was busier than them in the offseason. Those are 2 teams to keep your eye on. Justin Smith, Leonard Davis, these guys are going to be hearing from them immediately after the commissioner opens it up here in New York. We'll be back to kick things off at the 66th annual NFL. So first started doing this in 1980. People thought we were nuts. You're reading the phone book on national television. Well, think again. Everybody watching coast to coast all over the world. We're on ESPN.com. There's ESPN Radio. There's the ESPN Zone with NFL Player Chat. We've got expert panels in Bristol. I feel like I'm Jackson Brown. We got truckers on CB. We got Richard Pryor on the video. We have video teleconferencing with all 31 teams. There's the zone. We hope we are in the zone because you know what? We've been chomping at the bit to talk NFL football since the end of the Pro Bowl in early February. So, it is his honor as starting in his 2nd decade now. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue gets to theoretically throw down the gavel and open up this NFL draft. So, let's go. I mean, we're going to talk Atlanta. We'll wait for the commissioner to immediately open it. But the Atlanta Falcons, they have Chris Chandler, hurt alive. Yep. Okay, what? You go to the commissioner, you see, and here's his name, and here he is. So we work together here.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2001 NFL College Player Draft. We appreciate all you fans who have joined us here in New York today, as well as the millions around the nation watching on ESPN. We also extend our thanks to everyone involved in college and high school football for all you do for the great game of football. The Atlanta Falcons have the first pick in this 2001 NFL Draft, and the Falcons are now on the clock.
I don't know. 2 years ago at this time, the Atlanta Falcons were the defending NFC champs. The bottom, of course, fell out. 4-12. They couldn't move on offense. They couldn't stop very many people on defense. They have a quarterback in Chris Chandler. Gets hurt often, but when he's in, they play pretty well. They got Eric Zier to be a backup. So what should be the plan for Michael Vick? Watch for a year and two, play in goal line situations. What would you do with him, Joe?
I certainly think that Michael Vick right now is going to be a football player that has to think that I am going to play in this particular year at some point in time. I don't care whether Chris Chandler's healthy or not. I still think they'll try and work him in. They'll give him specific packages. They'll give him 5 or 6 plays to run in different situations. I would think if you want to stress an area for him, put him down around the goal line. That would be the place off.
You know what, guys? Times are they going to be near the goal line?
Guess what? You'll never guess who this pick is. Let's go to the podium.
With the first selection in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Vick, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
That's the fastest their offense has moved since they gave the ball to Jamal Anderson in the Super Bowl 5 years ago.
Joe's making a point about Chris Chandler, the things he does well. Chris Chandler throws a great deep ball. Dan Reeves likes throwing the ball downfield. And Michael Vick throws a tremendous deep ball. So there's a good match there.
Let's back off for a minute and analyze what a moment this is for this young man who has played 2 years of big-time college football at Virginia Tech, whose difference from September and October a year ago to the end of this past season, I mean, you talk about a learning curve that was a skyrocket, and here he is. He's the #1 pick in the NFL. Just not put yourself, who knows how many millions.
I know the excitement in Atlanta, because I do live in Atlanta. I'm telling you, this guy connects with a young generation of football fans.
Well, your son. Your son told you to go season
I've got to buy season tickets. I'm telling you, Atlanta needed something inspirational, and Dan Reeves provided it.
And one thing about, we talk about Michael Vick, he is a leader. He is a guy that can rally the troops. The team really galvanizes around Michael Vick. He will work at it. He will spend time evaluating and breaking down film, the tendencies of the opponent, Joe. He will have the work ethic and the diligence, the attention to detail that you need to develop those skills. That's a major plus in his favor.
And when you sit down with the young man, you get the sense that he understands that there is a learning curve. He knows he doesn't know everything. He knows that there's a process that has